am Priya Karfa. Today we will discuss the topic complex analysis. In this topic, we take a small part by using meaningless method. What is the object function? That means we find the function. Now this question: find f of z where u equal to e to the power minus x times x sin y minus y cos y. Then by using meaningless method. At first we take a complex variable z. Then we take this conjugate, that means complex conjugate, z bar equal to x minus y bar. Now we take the analytic function f of z. So f of z equal to u x comma y plus I v of x comma y. Now here f of z is an analytic function, but here uxy and vxy are complex conjugate harmonic functions, where uxy and vxy are introduced as complex conjugate harmonic function. Now we addition and subtraction. At first z plus z bar. What we get? 2x. So the value of x is equal to half of z plus z bar. Similar way, we subtract z minus z bar is equal to iy plus 2iy and xx cancel. So here 2iy. Now the value of y equal to 1 by 2y z minus z bar. We use these two values in our examples. Now we know that what is the meaningless method. So at first we know meaningless method. At first we introduce that f of z. What is the f of z? Is an analytic function, and here uxy and vxy are complex conjugate harmonic function. So meaningless method is that, let us take ux comma y and vx comma y are the complex conjugate harmonic function. We know that. So here phi function, we introduced phi function, phi 1 x comma y equal to partial derivatives with respect to x of u, and phi 2, take as phi 2 is introduced partial derivative with respect to y. Del u del x phi 1 xy, del u del y phi 2 xy. Clear? So meaningless method is that f dash z equal to phi 1 z comma 0. This is the points at z comma 0 plus I times phi 2 of z comma 0. So then we integrating and we find that object function. So meaningless method is that. In our example, what we find? Function of z. But we are given in this question u equal to e to the power minus x times x sin y minus y cos y. So at first let us write u equal to e to the power minus x times x sin y minus y cos y. X sin y minus y cos y So at first, with respect to x, del u del x. What is del u del x? Partial derivatives with respect to x. So e to the power minus x times sin y plus then e to the power minus x derivatives minus e to the power minus x times x sin y minus y cos y. Again partial derivatives with respect to y. So del u del y equal to e to the power minus x cos y minus cos y, then y respect to derivative minus is plus because cos y derivative of cos y, that means differentiate of cos y. What is the value? Minus sin y. So here we putting minus sin y, now y sin y. Clear? Then we know what is del u del x? Phi 1 xy. So is equal to phi 1 xy. This is introduced and this is introduced phi 2 of x comma y. So f of z function. Z is equal to what is z? What z? Z equal to x plus y. So here phi 1 z comma 0 at the point and phi 2 z comma 0. So f dash z equal to phi 1. At first we write by using meaningless method because in our questions the method is determined by using meaningless method. Method is mentions. Apply meaningless method. Now f dash z equal to phi 1 z comma 0 plus I times phi 2 z comma 0. Phi 1 z comma 0, that means this here we apply z comma 0. Here z comma 0, that means e to the power minus z. 0 sin 0 means 0 plus minus e to the power minus z times z sin 0, that means 0 minus y 0 times cos y. Cos y means cos 0, that means 1. But here total result is 0 because here 0 times e to the power minus z and here 0 times e to the power minus z plus I times phi 2 of z comma 0. Phi 2 of z comma 0, that means e to the power minus z, x is replaced by z and y is replaced by 0. So z cos 0, that means 1 minus 1 plus here 0. So here that 0 plus z I e to the power minus z. So our f dash z equal to I z e to the power minus z. Now we integrating above this f of z equal to I integration z e to the power minus z dz. We apply the dz formula. I times minus z e to the power minus z minus I plus, because plus here e to the power minus z integration minus e to the power z, so minus plus e to the power minus z and z differentiate, that means dz by dz times dz. So here our result I times minus z e to the power minus z minus dz cancel, that means 1 I e to the power minus z plus c. Because it is indefinite integration, so this is the arbitrary constants. So where c is of z equal to get minus I to the power minus z common z plus 1 plus where c is the arbitrary constants, where c is arbitrary constants. So now in this process we apply by meanless method. We apply by meanless method f dash z equal to, if we express that phi 1 z comma 0 plus I times phi 2 z comma 0 and then substitute these values, and here we get f dash z, and then integrating we find the function of z. This is the analytic function, and where u and v are complex conjugate harmonic